Well, hello there, my horror friends. This is AJ Horror doing a movie review. Um, yeah, I'm just going to dive right into it. This one is The Void from 2016. It's an hour and a half. This one got 78% on Rotten Tomato. The fans only gave it 48%. This one's kind of a sci-fi slasher. I don't know if it's considered a slasher, but it has that kind of feel to it in a way. There's a lot of gore. Anyways, I'll just jump into my usual spiel here. So this is co-written and directed. So we got Jared Gillespie, who he didn't really have a much horror background that I could see, and then we got uh, Stephen Kostansky, I believe, who directed VHS 94 and Gorman and what was the other one? Leprechaun Returns. So he has a little bit of a track record with horror, but let's keep moving. Let's go to the actors. I don't really know any of these actors, but the main lead actor is Aaron Poole. You also have Ellen Wong. I can't remember what else she had been in. She's been in some like TV shows, I think. Then you got Kenneth Welsh, who's been in just a ton of stuff. I think he was in The Exorcism of Emily Rose. But that's about all I will do with the cast there. We'll just kind of jump into this. Basically, kind of takes place in like a small town where it seems like not a lot goes on. And a cop is just trying to finish off his day, and he stumbles across this weird dude that he thinks is a drunk guy. Then he realizes he's got blood on it all over him, and he's kind of crazy. So he ends up taking him to the hospital, and just weird stuff is happening. You can sense that like this is gonna be a little bit disturbing of a film. Anyways, he gets I don't know if he's a sheriff or it seems like he's a sheriff, and then he gets to the hospital with this dude, and dude's like crazy, like a drug addict, I think. So he's trying to figure out what's going on. And basically, this group of people wearing these white cloaks with a triangle. I think is it an upside down triangle or just normal triangle? I don't know, but it's a triangle. And there's like just a ton of them. It's like a cult. It is a cult for sure, and it gets a little deeper. But basically, the majority of this film takes place in a hospital, where people are just like it turns into survival horror essentially. A couple other people show up that kind of seem like they know what is going on, but they don't really, because this is like a otherworldly type of hellish, nightmarish creature, just nightmare. If I say that again. So basically, the hospital. I mean, people are like starting to lose it. One lady just like stabs herself in the eye, and then tries to stab the cop, and he ends up shooting her. And then it just keeps on getting crazier and crazier until you kind of get to a point where you're like, okay, I kind of know what's going on, and then you're like, oh, maybe I don't. And then the sci-fi really hits hard towards the end, like super hard. You feel like you're watching like a sci-fi channel movie, and it is a little B-rated. Like the acting's like decent, but not. I mean, not the greatest. I will say the effects, like, and the creatures, because you'll see a creature or two in this one, and man, I think they did a pretty good job with whatever budget they had. But this one it's hard. I just don't want to give anything away, and it's easy to do that. So let's see. Basically, it's a fight for survival in the hospital throughout the movie. And there's a pregnant girl there, so they end up going downstairs to find supplies for her, and that turns into a whole adventure. And they find like zombie looking creatures, and they try to stop them, and like it just gets more and more crazy. And basically, the premise of this, it seemed like to me, this is my opinion on it, is this kind of deity sort of being that's trying to birth like it almost seemed like an antichrist type deal, but more like along the lines of like a sci-fi like monster like type deal. But they didn't really go like super in depth with like the whole like concept of what like what was the whole purpose or like the end game maybe. I mean, it seemed like they wanted to take over the world, but like I was trying to figure out like why, or like what like was the ultimate like why it was happening, or why, I don't know. I'm always a little confused when I watch this one, but like you gotta kind of take it with a grain of salt and just be like, okay, this is a good old gore fest sci-fi creature feature, slasher ish. I don't know. Horror fans might get mad at me if I call it slasher, but creature feature. I'll say creature feature instead of slasher. I shouldn't have said it in the first place. But that's about all that I've got. I will say the ending is just like kind of crazy. You kind of makes you wonder a little bit. Hopefully I did a good job of describing this. I just was trying to avoid giving any spoilers away if you hadn't seen it. But yeah, that's my review of The Void from 2016. I give it a recommend. This is a good one if you haven't seen it. But without further ado, I will wish you a good day, and hope you watch my upcoming reviews and subscribe. Thank you, and goodbye.